Antonio. Kudus! Oh, spectacular!
Every once in a while, football gives us a player who doesn't just play the game, he electrifies it. A player who moves with purpose, fights with passion, and carries the hope of a nation on his shoulders. This is Mohammed Kudus. From the streets of Nima, Accra, to the bright lights of the Premier League, Kudus' journey has been anything but ordinary. But how did he get here? What makes him so special? And is he destined for greatness? In this video, we'll find out, so stay tuned. If you are new here, subscribe to Bait Sports. Born in August 2000 in the suburbs of Nima, Accra, Kudus was a natural football talent, and those he grew up with knew about it too. Just like a host of Ghanaian football legends before him, his journey to stardom began on the streets, where he honed his skills playing with Strong Towers, a local youth team. It was particularly interesting that Kudus did not turn up to drag or a gang life, as was common amongst young boys in Nima in the early 2000s.
I grew up in a place called Custom House, which is quite near here.
Yeah?
And in that area, you know, there was a lot of gangs, crime, drug abuse, that kind of stuff. You grew up in a place called Nima in Ghana.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was it similar? Was it very different?
I won't say, I don't know the city you're talking about, but from your explanation, I would say it's pretty much the same, you know, because Nima is like a ghetto, you know, with a lot of bad stuff happening, you know, but yeah. But I believe there's a lot of talent there as well, so yeah.
His prodigious talent was evident from an early age and was identified by scouts from the elite Right to Dream Academy. And if you do not know, the Right to Dream Academy is a renowned football academy in Ghana known for nurturing young talents. And for context, think of the Right to Dream Academy as Africa's Clairefontaine or La Masia, but without a club affiliation in the domicile country. So to be scouted into the elite Right to Dream Academy was no small feat. Unsurprisingly, Kudus rapidly developed the technical abilities and footballing intelligence that would soon make him a standout player. The Right to Dream Academy, like every serious academy, has affiliate clubs outside of the host country, and FC Nordsjælland in Denmark was theirs. In October 2017, still at the academy, he was selected as part of Ghana's squad to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in India. Although he had a relatively calm tournament, often coming off the bench, he helped his nation reach the quarter-final stage and scored the consolation goal from the sports kick in a 2-1 defeat to Mali. Now, at this time, Kudus was already thinking about his future, and he had a conversation with Mohammed Aminu, who was a fellow teammate at the Under-17 side, and he introduced him to Jennifer Mendelrich, a super agent in football. And that introduction had the most significant impact on his career outside his time at the academy. Now, more about that soon. Stay tuned. In January 2018, Kudus arrived at FC Nordsjælland, and only 3 days after his 18th birthday, he made his official debut in a 2-0 defeat against Brøndby IF and was subbed off at halftime. With this, Kudus had become the 9th youngest player to debut for the club, and during his time in Denmark, he scored 14 goals with 3 assists in 57 games across 2 seasons. Not bad at all for a young winger. He was also noted for his dribbling, exceptional vision, and goal-scoring abilities. Now, I need you to keep these attributes in mind. We will refer to it soon. Although he was having the best time of his career so far, he was uncertain about his future and how his agency handled it at that time. You see, his English agency that represented him had a lot of big names on their roster, and Kudus was just another talented player from Ghana. You know, a small fish in a big sea. And this deeply troubled Kudus as he resorted to make a move. So Kudus had a chat with his Under-17 teammate, Mohammed Aminu, on the issue. And it's probably because Aminu at the time had been signed into Manchester City, and that was how Jennifer Mendelrich, the super agent I talked about earlier, got into the picture. He explained the situation to me, that he was contracted to a big well-known English agency and that he was not happy about the way the agency was treating him and his career and future transfer. In fact, Kudus was simply demanding transparency. That was really his criterion. He needed to know what was going on, like which clubs are really interested and who makes an offer. Jennifer quickly got to work, and in July 2020, Kudus signed for Ajax for €9 million on a 5-year contract. There was hope that at Ajax, he could get more global exposure and also play in the Champions League. So, you might be asking, what happened to Mohammed Aminu, and why haven't we seen him play for Manchester City before? Well, his story deserves a video of its own. 2 months later, in September 2020, Kudus made his Ajax debut, and in the next 3 games he played, he scored 1 goal and provided 3 assists. He caught the hearts of everyone at Amsterdam, and the head coach at the time, Erik ten Hag, described Kudus as a player with incredible potential. Now, mind you, this was from a team that had players like Ryan Gravenberch, Quincy Promes, Dusan Tadic, and Antonio Santos, aka the GOAT, to name a few. So getting such a compliment was a big deal. Despite his incredible performances, things were about to take a dark turn. In his Champions League debut at home against Liverpool in October 2020, disaster struck as he was substituted out after only 6 minutes after suffering a meniscus injury, keeping him out for several months. Unfortunately, his time at Ajax was more characterized by his visits to the physio than his time on the pitch. In the first 2 out of the 3 seasons he spent at Ajax, he missed 50 games and was out for 257 days, which was roughly 8.5 months. Some of his injuries were very weird, especially the one he got playing in the Ghana game against South Africa. In that particular game, Kudus was forced out after just 10 minutes, following a problem with his rib, despite not coming into contact with any player to cause that injury. Kudus had become injury prone all of a sudden, and that was a real risk to his career. It's quite understandable since he was a dribbler and he got kicked around a lot. You can ask Neymar. At the end of the second season at Ajax, he had made only 42 appearances and scored a measly 5 goals in total. The injury cast some serious doubt on his abilities, but nonetheless, he was determined to bounce back. And boy, he did. Kudus played 42 games, scored 18 goals and assisted 6 times in all competitions. The star boy was back. Now, Kudus had proven how lethal he could be when fully fit, and his outstanding performance went unnoticed. Following an incredible World Cup campaign in 2022, which we'll get into more details soon, a lot of teams lined up for his signature. But he didn't just want to play for any team. He knew some aspects of his game needed improvements, and he knew he needed to get into a team where he'll be guaranteed regular playing time. So, after careful scrutiny, he found a team that was just perfect for him at that time. Now, just before he departed Ajax, he gave the fans the ultimate goodbye gift. He scored a hat-trick in a Europa League playoff match against Logodores in Bulgaria as they thrashed them 4-1. What a way to bow out.
And how much will you miss Ajax?
I'll answer that when everything is official. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mo. Thank you. Great work here.
In August 2023, Kudus signed for Premier League club West Ham United on a 5-year contract for a fee reported to be £38 million.
GH where touchdown in the East End. Big ballers don't pretend. Running, cutting through defense. Have your team them swimming in the deep end. Real black star, no treason. Kudus, left foot, dudoof. Believe the hype East London. We outside, Abontin.
This move makes him the 3rd Ghanaian to play for the club, following John Pentel and Andre Ayew, and the 2nd most expensive Ghanaian player, behind Thomas Partey.
Party on! Hey, show me! Hey!
He scored his first goal for the club in a Europa League group stage game against Serbian side Baka Topola, and scored his first Premier League goal a few days later against Newcastle United in the 89th minute in a 2-2 draw. If you thought he'd seen his best goals, then you're mistaken. He stunned West Ham fans as he scored 2 goal of the season contenders against Brentford and SC Freiburg. At the end of his first full season at West Ham, Kudus had scored 14 goals in 45 matches in all competitions. Now, that was a huge return on investment, as the then David Moyes side finished 9th on the table. To crown it all, he finished his debut season as the player with the most successful dribbles in the Premier League with 124 dribbles. And that's kind of surreal when you think about it. The Premier League is the most difficult league to dribble in, and he was the best at that in his first season. Now that's peak entertainment. However, not all has been going on as planned for Kudus in the second season at West Ham. As at the time of recording this video, he scored 3 goals in 27 appearances in all competitions. That's against 11 goals in 36 appearances same time last year. A few reasons have been identified for this blip in form. The change of West Ham's manager, David Moyes, at the end of the 23-24 season, disciplinary issues on the pitch, and the severing of his working relationship with his super agent, Jennifer Mendelrich, just before the 24-25 season are all critical reasons. His international debut for the senior Ghana national team came in November 2019, and he's been a regular member of the team since then, barring injuries, of course. Kudus caught the eyes of Ghanaian fans in the 2021 CAF African Cup of Nations qualifier against South Africa, where he scored both goals in a 2-0 win. By mid-2022, he had scored 6 goals in 16 appearances for the Black Stars. Despite his persistent injury problems at Ajax that made him miss 3 months of action in football, he returned stronger and helped the Black Stars qualify for their 4th World Cup tournament in Qatar in 2022. And it was in this tournament where the entire world had a proper glimpse of her in the second game of the tournament. But Ghana was cast out of the tournament after a defeat to Uruguay. Regardless of the early exit, he has shown his technical brilliance throughout the tournament. In January 2024, Kudus will once again showcase his quality for the Black Stars at the 2023 AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast. Despite missing the first game against Cape Verde due to a hamstring injury, he returned for the highly anticipated match against Mohamed Saleh's Egypt in the second group game, and he showed why he'd become a talisman for the Black Stars. He scored both goals in a 2-2 draw and won the Man of the Match award, and won a penalty in the last game against Mozambique. Despite a great show of talismanship, Ghana was once again eliminated from the tournament, and just like that, it was all over. A change in manager and a few games later, Kudus was rewarded with a captaincy in the Ghana national team, which made him one of the youngest captains the country has had. And this decision also had its plethora of issues that I'm not going to get into in this video. Despite these personal accolades, the now Kudus-led Black Stars could not qualify for the 2025 AFCON tournament in Morocco. And again, as to why this disaster happened is deserving of a video on its own. Never lost a game in which Kudus has scored in. Incredible. So far, the 24-year-old has scored 11 times in 43 appearances for Ghana. The all-time leading goal scorer for the Ghana national team had 51 goals. So that begs the question, will Kudus be able to surpass this feat? And most importantly, will he lead Ghana to a much-needed international glory? Mohammed Kudus' journey from the streets of Nima to the bright lights of the Premier League is nothing short of inspiring. He is a symbol of hope for African players and proof that talent, hard work, and a bit of luck can break barriers. So, how good is Mohammed Kudus, really? Well, he's not just good, he's incredible, and this story is still being written. His versatility sets him apart, whether he's creating chances as a playmaker, scoring goals from midfield, or stretching defenses on the wing. Kudus adapts seamlessly to any role. His powerful left foot is a weapon, capable of delivering pinpoint passes or thunderous shots from distance. So far in his career, and at the time of recording this video, the 24-year-old scored 69 times in 259 appearances for both club and country. He's won 2 league titles and 1 KNVB Cup with Ajax and many individual awards and accolades for both club and country. Well, that's not bad at all, considering the fact that he spent almost an entire season away on injury. So let me ask you, what do you think about Mohammed Kudus' rise, and will he become one of the greatest African players of all time? Well, let me know in the comments. And there you have it, the incredible career of Mohammed Kudus so far. If you enjoyed this video, you definitely enjoy a similar one I made on the journey of a true African legend, Asamoah Gyan. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.